Standing before my family, I said, "I've been silent for 46 years. I won't be silent anymore." Then, at their anniversary gala, I revealed my memoir and exposed a lifetime of cruelty they never expected to face. My family forgot my birthday for decades, literally every single year. So, when they tried to erase me again, I didn't just skip their fancy anniversary gala. I dropped a bombshell that exposed their cruelty, forcing them to finally confront the truth they'd buried for nearly 50 years. Can you even imagine? It all started with this elegant, cream-colored envelope, shimmering with gold calligraphy, announcing my parents, Eleanor and Robert's, 47th wedding anniversary. So classy, so perfect, right? But then I saw it, the date, circled in gold, September 8th. My birthday. Again. I swear, my old cat, Gatsby, probably gets more recognition just for existing than I did for turning another year older. Another year of invisibility, old friend. I remember whispering to him, my empty mantle mocking me with its total lack of birthday cards. This wasn't just about missing one celebration, it was about 46 years of being systematically erased. And that day, I swear, something inside me just snapped. The phone rang, jolting the quiet. My mother, Eleanor's, name flashed on the screen. I took a deep breath before answering. "Good morning, Mother," I said, trying to sound normal. "Isabella, have you started on the anniversary speech yet?" Her voice, that crisp, no-nonsense tone she reserved for matters of supreme importance. No greeting. No pleasantries. "I've been outlining some thoughts," I lied, staring at the blank notepad beside me. "Well, don't wait until the last minute. You know how these things go. The country club needs final head counts by Friday." A pause. I waited. Just some tiny acknowledgement. A flicker of recognition that the date held significance beyond their anniversary. The silence stretched. "Isabella, are you there?" "Yes, I'm here. Always here. Always waiting." My voice was flat. I was just looking at the invitation. "The 8th is..." "You've done this for 13 years now, dear." She cut me off, her voice hardening. "Don't make this difficult." My gaze drifted to my desk, to my manuscript unclaimed years, sitting there, a quiet accusation against the family that had taught me to disappear. "Mother, I was simply going to mention that the 8th is... Your father and I are counting on you," she continued, as if I hadn't spoken. "The governor's wife will be there this year. Everything must be perfect. Perfect. Her favorite word. The unattainable standard to which everything in her world adhered, especially her children. Marcus, the golden son with his surgical practice and perfect sons. Celeste, with her architectural firm and perfect husband. And then there was me, Isabella, the eldest, the English teacher turned writer, the imperfect one. Eleanor, I'll work on it this week," I said, the words tasting like ash. "Surrender. Wonderful. I knew you'd understand." Her voice brightened. Mission accomplished. "Oh, and wear that forest green dress from last Christmas. It hides your middle quite nicely." The memory surfaced before I could stop it. Last year's anniversary celebration. The country club dining room draped in white orchids. Me, standing at the podium, delivering a speech about enduring love while my own birthday candles remained unlit. Maya, my beautiful 21-year-old daughter, tugging my sleeve afterwards. "Mom, it's your birthday too. Shouldn't we sing for you?" Mother overheard her, her smile tightening. "This is about your grandparents' marriage, not birthdays." Maya's confused expression. My practiced, forced smile. "I need to go, Mother," I said now, my hand trembling around the phone. "Don't forget the speech." The call ended. I set the phone down, placing both palms flat against the cool countertop. My laptop sat open, the manuscript nearly complete. 13 years of speeches, celebrating their marriage, while my birthdays vanished. 13 years of showing up, trying to be beautiful, remaining invisible. The front door opened, followed by the familiar thud of a backpack hitting the floor. "Mom, you home?" Maya's voice. A burst of light in the quiet house. "In the kitchen," I called back, quickly wiping my eyes. She appeared in the doorway, tall and confident in a way I never was at her age. Her dark hair, so like mine before the silver streaks claimed it, fell in waves past her shoulders. "I was thinking we could grab lunch at Myrtle's," she said, kissing my cheek. "My treat." "What's the occasion?" I asked, a flicker of hope. Her face went blank for a moment. "No reason. Just hungry." The realization cut deeper than it should. Even Maya had forgotten. I'd trained everyone so well.
"Sure, sweetheart."
Let me grab my purse. I watched as she noticed the envelope on the counter. "Grandma and Grandpa's anniversary invitation," she murmured, picking it up. She looked at the date. "Same day as your birthday again." Her brow furrowed. "Don't they ever notice?" The question hung between us.
Something shifted in my chest.
Not the familiar resignation, but something hotter, less manageable. "They notice," I said quietly. "They just don't care." Maya's eyes widened at my uncharacteristic honesty. I moved toward my study, beckoning her to follow. "There's something I need to show you." I pulled a photo album from my bottom desk drawer. Decades of evidence. Birthday parties canceled for Marcus's baseball games. My college graduation overshadowed by Celeste's surprise engagement announcement. My wedding day when Robert gave a toast about hoping Isabella will finally find her purpose. Maya flipped through the pages, her expression transforming from confusion to anger. "They've trained all of us to forget you, haven't they?" she whispered, looking up at me with horrified understanding. I didn't answer. I didn't need to. Instead, I opened my laptop and turned the screen toward her. "This is what I've been writing. It's called Unclaimed Years." My finger hovered over the dedication page. "To the ones who taught me that being invisible doesn't mean you don't exist." For the first time in 46 years, I felt seen. The next morning, the phone rang at 7:15 a.m., jerking me from sleep. Marcus's name flashed on the screen. An unusual occurrence this early. My brother called precisely 3 times a year: Christmas, Mother's birthday, and when he needed something. "What did you say to Mom?" His voice hammered through the line without a greeting. "She called me in tears last night." I sat up in bed, Gatsby shifting with annoyance at the disturbance. "Good morning to you, too, Marcus." "Cut the crap, Isabella. She said you refused to write the anniversary speech." The sun slanted through my blinds, painting stripes across the rumpled bedding. I hadn't actually refused, not yet. But Eleanor's talent for preemptive strikes remained unmatched. "I never said that." My voice came out steadier than I felt. "Then what's the problem? You've done it for 13 years running. Why start trouble now?" 13 years, the number hung between us like an indictment. 13 birthdays erased. "Have you looked at the calendar lately, Marcus? Do you know what the 8th of September is?" A pause. The sound of papers shuffling. "Tuesday. My birthday." The words fell into the silence. Another pause. Longer this time. "Well, sure, but what is that?" My phone buzzed with an incoming text. "Celeste, right on cue. Don't be difficult. Just write the speech like always." "Marcus, I need to go." "Isabella, don't hang." I ended the call and opened Celeste's text. My sister, 3,000 miles away in San Francisco, still functioning as Eleanor's perfect lieutenant. Below her first message appeared another. "It's just a birthday. You'll have another one next year." The voicemail notification appeared as I was contemplating a response. Robert's voice, unusually tense. "Your mother needs this celebration to be perfect, Isabella. The governor's wife is coming. Call your mother." Not one mention of my birthday.
Not one.
Later that day, the attic stairs creaked under our weight. Maya led the way, a flashlight beam bobbing across dusty cardboard boxes. "Are you sure about this, Mom?" She sounded uncertain, stepping carefully around a stack of Christmas decorations. "I need to know if I'm crazy," I whispered. "If I've been imagining this all these years." We found the storage bins marked family records tucked beneath old quilts inside. Manila folders, organized by year. Eleanor's impeccable system working against her for once. "Start with my 16th birthday," I suggested, settling cross-legged on the plywood floor. Maya pulled the 1995 folder, flipping through papers until she froze. Mom. She handed me a bundle secured with a faded ribbon. Birthday cards from grandparents, aunts, cousins. All addressed to me. All still sealed. All dated around my 16th birthday. I never saw these, I whispered, running my finger over my grandmother's handwriting. She sent me $20 every birthday until she died. I thought she'd stopped caring. Maya pulled another folder, then another. More cards, letters, invitations. What's this? She held up an ornate invitation to a writing awards ceremony from my senior year of high school. The envelope, addressed to me, had been sliced open, the contents removed, then carefully resealed. I was nominated for a statewide prize, I explained, my throat tightening. They said they sent the invitation, but it never came. I missed the ceremony. Mother said these things were just participation trophies anyway. Another folder yielded my childhood diaries, each page documenting small erasures. Birthday parties rescheduled for Marcus's baseball games, Christmas mornings when my wish lists were misplaced, awards dinners my parents skipped. This wasn't accidental, Maya said, her voice hollow. This was systematic. Systematic. I finished, the word tasting like metal. They systematically made me invisible. 15 minutes later, the bathroom mirror reflected a stranger. A woman with silver-streaked hair and eyes that had seen too much. I leaned forward, hands gripping the porcelain sink. I will not be giving a speech this year. The words hung in the steamy air. 5 practice attempts and my voice still trembled. I will not be giving a speech this year. Stronger now. My phone buzzed from the counter. Lena, Marcus's wife. We need to talk. I stared at the message, then typed back. Come over. At 4, we'll have tea. For the first time in my life, I didn't append an apology. In the living room, I placed my manuscript prominently on the coffee table between 2 teacups. Unclaimed years, face upward, impossible to miss. No more hiding. My phone pinged with a message from Olivia, my publisher. The editorial board wants to move up your release date. Your story needs to be heard. Another text from Beatrice next door, 92 and sharper than most 60-year-olds, bringing over shortbread. Some stories take courage to tell. A calendar notification from my writing group. Surprise gathering tonight. Bring only yourself. These people saw me. These people had always seen me. My laptop sat open on the kitchen counter. A blank email addressed to my entire family. I typed slowly, deliberately. I will not be attending the anniversary this year. My finger hovered over the send button. In the doorway, Maya watched, her expression a mixture of anxiety and pride. I added a final line. My memoir, Unclaimed Years, a daughter's memoir of being overlooked, will be published next week.
Send.
I powered off my phone as notifications began flooding in. The silence felt like victory. Maya crossed the room and squeezed my hand. I'm proud of you, Mom. For the first time in 46 years, the words registered not as a platitude, but as truth. I was becoming someone to be proud of. Someone who refused to disappear. Next week. My writing studio smelled of lemon oil and old paper. Morning sunlight filtered through Venetian blinds, casting prison bar shadows across 4 decades of journals stacked on my oak desk. I ran my fingers along their spines. Leather for my teens, blue canvas for my 20s, practical black for my 30s, a rainbow-colored chronicle of invisibility. Maya sat cross-legged on the floor, surrounded by open journals, her face a map of emotions as she turned each page. Mom, I had no idea, her voice caught. It's all here, every single time. I nodded, unable to speak. 38 years of meticulous documentation spread before us like evidence at a crime scene. She held up a faded Lisa Frank diary, its unicorn cover incongruously bright against the weight of its contents. You were 8, she read aloud. Today is my birthday. Mom and Dad forgot to pick me up from school. Mrs. Abernathy had to call them 3 times. When they came, Mom said they were busy planning Marcus's baseball party next month. The memory crashed through me, Standing alone on the school steps, the hollow feeling in my chest as darkness fell, Mrs. Abernathy's pitying glance. "Keep reading," I whispered. Maya flipped forward. Christmas 1985. Everyone got wrapped presents. Mine were in plastic bags from the gas and go. Mom said she ran out of time. She looked up. "You were 13. I took a leather journal from the desk, opening to a dog-eared page. This one mattered. The handwriting was smaller, more controlled. High school graduation today. They left after I received my diploma. Dad said they couldn't miss Marcus's regional baseball game. My name wasn't even spelled correctly in the program. Isabel instead of Isabella, but no one noticed." Maya closed the unicorn diary, her knuckles white. "How did you survive this?" "By disappearing." I pulled the oldest journal from the bottom of the stack. "I learned early. Look at this entry from when I was 6. If I'm very quiet and help in the kitchen, Mom smiles at me." The doorbell rang, startling us both. I checked my watch. 10:17 a.m. That'll be the cavalry, Maya said with a grim smile. Through the peephole, I saw them. Eleanor, perfectly coiffed in pale blue linen. Robert, uncomfortable in his Sunday blazer despite the heat. Marcus, arms crossed over his chest. Lena, Marcus's wife, hovering uncertainly behind them. My pulse thundered in my ears. I straightened my shoulders and opened the door. "Isabella Jean." Eleanor's voice broke on my middle name. Her eyes were red-rimmed, makeup impeccable despite the tears. "How could you embarrass us like this?" I stepped back, allowing them into my living room without responding. The manuscript of Unclaimed Years sat prominently on the coffee table between us. Eleanor's gaze fell on it, as if it were a loaded gun. "This has gone far enough," Marcus said, his voice carrying the same authoritative tone he used with his surgical residents. "You need to cancel this book right now." Robert remained silent, his eyes taking in the framed book cover mock-up Olivia had sent over yesterday. "Did you even read what I sent you?" I asked quietly. "I didn't need to read past the first page," Eleanor snapped. "Airing family laundry for strangers to gawk at. What would Grandmother Harrington say? She'd probably ask why you scheduled your anniversary party on my birthday again." The words slid out, smooth as river stones. Marcus's face flushed. "For God's sake, Isabella, it's just a day on the calendar. 46 days. 46 birthdays. 13 consecutive anniversaries." Eleanor pressed a tissue to her lips. "We're not monsters, Isabella. We didn't realize you knew." My voice didn't rise, but something in its certainty made them all fall silent. "I've been silent for 46 years. I won't be silent anymore." The doorbell rang again. Maya answered it, ushering in Beatrice from next door, carrying a basket covered with a checkered cloth. "Brought you some sourdough, dear." Beatrice's voice carried clearly as she sized up my family. At 92, she was long past caring what anyone thought. "Figured you might need sustenance for the battle." Lena shifted uncomfortably. "Isabella, perhaps we could discuss this privately."
No.
The word emerged stronger than I expected. "I've had enough privacy." Enough silence. I picked up the manuscript, feeling its weight, both physical and symbolic. "Let me read you something." No one moved. No one breathed. The 10th anniversary celebration fell on my 36th birthday. I read. "I stood in Mother's kitchen for 6 hours, dicing vegetables and arranging canapes while fighting waves of nausea. My temperature had climbed to 102 degrees, but I'd promised to help. More importantly, I'd promised to give the speech." Eleanor's hand flew to her throat. Robert looked away. I delivered the toast to their enduring love with sweat soaking my back. My voice didn't waver. No one noticed when I disappeared to the country club bathroom afterward and collapsed against the cool marble floor. No one came looking for me for over an hour. "I didn't know you were sick," Eleanor whispered. "You didn't ask." I closed the manuscript. I began writing this book that night, typing with shaking hands on my phone while lying on that bathroom floor. Marcus stepped forward, hands open in what looked like surrender. "Look, we can fix this. We'll acknowledge your birthday at the anniversary this year. We'll sing and have a cake." A laugh escaped me, short, sharp, devoid of humor. I don't want a cake, Marcus. I want acknowledgement of what happened. Not just to me, but through me to Maya, who learned that women's celebrations come second. To Lena, who watches how you treat me and wonders where she stands. To every friend who noticed the pattern I was trained not to see. Lena's eyes met mine, something like recognition flashing between us. Stand your ground, dear. Beatrice's quiet voice carried from the kitchen doorway. Eleanor rose, gathering her purse. I can't listen to this. It's cruel and unfair. Life is unfair, Mother, I said. Ask your invisible daughter. They filed out one by one. Eleanor first, Marcus close behind. Robert lingered, his hand on the doorknob. Robert. Eleanor called sharply from the driveway. He turned, really looking at me perhaps for the first time. I'm sorry, he said simply, then closed the door. Behind him, the house fell silent. Beatrice squeezed my shoulder before letting herself out the back door, leaving the bread behind. Maya came to stand beside me, surveying the abandoned battlefield of my living room. What happens now? I picked up my phone, scrolling to Olivia's number. Now we make sure the book comes out on my birthday. The manuscript caught the midday light, its title embossed in silver against cream paper. Unclaimed years. No longer hidden. No longer silent. My voice, finally heard. 2 days later. The manila envelope from Olivia sat open on my desk, advanced copies of my memoir peeking out like evidence at a trial. The morning sun caught the embossed title, Unclaimed Years. My fingers traced the raised letters, still not quite believing this moment was real. My phone buzzed. Eleanor's name flashed on the screen for the 7th time this morning. I silenced it and turned it face down. You don't have to answer, Maya said, setting a mug of Earl Grey beside me. You don't owe them explanations anymore. The radio played softly in the background. The local station where I was scheduled to appear tomorrow. The host's earlier words still rang in my ears. Joining us will be Isabella Bellamy, discussing emotional neglect in so-called respectable families. Respectable. The word my mother hid behind like armor. The doorbell rang. Maya glanced through the front window and sighed. Grandma's here. With photo albums. Right on schedule, I muttered, straightening my spine. The desperation tour begins. Eleanor stood on my porch, clutching weathered photo albums to her chest, her pearl necklace perfectly centered as always. Her smile tightened when she saw me. Isabella, darling, I've been calling all morning. I noticed. She faltered, then thrust the albums forward. I found these in the attic. So many wonderful birthday memories. I thought we could reminisce over. My laugh came out sharp enough to cut glass. Birthday memories. That's certainly a creative approach. Don't be difficult, she said, her voice dropping to that warning tone I'd heard my entire life. May I come in? I stepped aside without answering. Maya caught my eye from the kitchen doorway, giving me a subtle thumbs up. Eleanor spread the albums on my coffee table, flipping pages with manicured fingernails. Look, your 8th birthday party. Remember the pony rides? I stared at the photo. Marcus sat atop a brown pony, grinning widely. I was barely visible at the edge of the frame, watching. That was Marcus's birthday, Mother. Mine was the week before, when you and Robert went to Bermuda. Her smile didn't waver. Are you sure? My goodness, the years blend together. They don't for me. She flipped faster through pages. Well, here's your Sweet 16 celebration. The dinner Robert canceled because of Celeste's choir concert. We had cake in the car on the way home. Eleanor's fingers paused. For just a moment, something like recognition flickered across her face. Then it was gone, replaced by practiced brightness. Isabella, about this book of yours, the timing is unfortunate. The governor's wife called to cancel her appearance at our anniversary. People are talking. And there it was. The real reason for this visit. How unfortunate for you. She closed the album with a snap. We thought perhaps we could combine celebrations this year. Acknowledge your birthday during the anniversary toast. The audacity stole my breath. 46 years of invisibility. And now they wanted to acknowledge my existence because it threatened their social standing.
No.
She blinked rapidly. But Marcus and your father agree it's the perfect solution. Perfect for whom? For the family, of course. I leaned forward. I haven't been part of the family since I was born, Mother. I've been the audience, the helper, the speechwriter, the silent supporter, but never actually included. That's absurd. Her voice rose. You've always been difficult. Always felt sorry for yourself. We gave you everything. Except recognition. Except for the simple dignity of acknowledging my birthday. This is what I mean. She stood, smoothing her skirt. So dramatic over something so trivial. I stood too, power shifting between us like tectonic plates. If it's so trivial, why not move your anniversary party to another day? Just once in 47 years. The question hung between us. Her lips parted, closed again. For once, Eleanor Harrington had no ready answer. The doorbell rang again. Maya peeked out. It's Uncle Marcus. Perfect timing. Marcus barreled in without waiting for an invitation, his surgeon's confidence preceding him. Mom's upset. This has gone far enough, Isabella. Has it? I asked quietly. Because I've only just begun. The country club is buzzing with gossip. Dad's golf partners are asking questions. How terrible for him. Marcus's face reddened. Look, we're willing to make this right. Dad's offering to throw you a proper birthday celebration if you'll reconsider the book release. I walked to my desk and lifted a stack of identical envelopes, each bearing a family member's name. These are advanced copies of my memoir. I've inscribed each one personally. Marcus stared at them like they might explode. I'm not canceling my book. I'm not attending the anniversary. And I'm certainly not accepting a pity birthday party at this late date. You're making a mistake, Eleanor whispered. This book will tear the family apart. I handed them each their envelope. The family was never whole to begin with, Mother. Not with me written out of it. They left in stages. Marcus first, slamming the door. Eleanor lingering on the porch, her face a portrait of confusion and anger. When they were gone, Maya wrapped her arms around me. You okay? My hands were shaking, but my voice was steady. I've never been better. My phone lit up with a text from Olivia. Local newspaper wants to run a feature on the book. Publication date. I typed back a single date. The 8th of September. My birthday. My story. My terms. For the first time in my life, I wasn't invisible, and it terrified them. On my birthday and book publication day, the bookstore hummed with anticipation. Standing behind a wooden podium adorned with a modest arrangement of wildflowers, I surveyed the crowd that filled every chair and spilled along the walls. My memoir sat in neat stacks on the table beside me. The cover art, simple yet striking. A birthday cake with 46 unlit candles. Unclaimed years stared back at me in bold serif font. My truth, bound and published. Ready, Olivia whispered, her publisher's instinct sensing my thundering heart. For 46 years, I answered, smoothing my cobalt blue dress, chosen deliberately to replace the forest green my mother insisted hid my middle. The bookstore owner stepped to the microphone. We're honored to welcome Isabella Bellamy on this special evening, both her book launch and her birthday. Applause rippled through the room. Birthday. The word hung in the air, acknowledged and celebrated. My throat tightened. Maya caught my eye from the front row, her smile fierce with pride. Beside her sat Beatrice from next door, my writing group, former students, neighbors, people who see me. I stepped to the podium, fingers tracing the manuscript pages I'd prepared. The first paragraph blurred before me. Breathe, Isabella. Thank you all for coming tonight. This book. The bell above the bookstore door jingled. Heads turned. My words faltered. Robert Harrington stood in the doorway, my father's tall frame slightly stooped now, his silver hair combed neatly to the side. He clutched a small package wrapped in silver paper. The room fell silent. My prepared speech lay forgotten on the podium. He moved slowly down the center aisle, eyes never leaving mine. Conversations hushed. Maya half rose from her seat, protective instincts flaring. I gave her a small shake of my head. She sat, watching. My father stopped at the edge of the podium. "Isabella," he said, his voice rough with age or emotion. I couldn't tell. "May I speak?" Olivia stepped forward, publisher's protectiveness radiating. "Mr. Harrington, this is a scheduled event." "It's all right," I said, surprising myself. "Let him speak." The microphone amplified his shaky breath as he stepped forward, his hand, so large in my childhood memory, trembled slightly. "I've never been good with words," he began. "That was always your gift." He glanced at the book. "I haven't read your memoir yet." Eleanor refused to open her copy. Someone in the audience coughed. The air conditioning hummed. I watched this unexpected drama unfold. "But I know what's in it," he said, looking down at his polished shoes. 46 birthdays. 46 times we celebrated our anniversary and forgot the day also belonged to you. My phone buzzed in my pocket. Marcus, most likely, trying a different angle after his earlier text failed. "Mom's having a breakdown. You need to come." "We didn't forget," my father continued, the confession hanging heavy. "That's worse, isn't it? We remembered and still chose to make the day about us." The audience sat motionless. This unscripted moment held them transfixed. I failed to see my daughter for 46 years. The words echoed through the speakers, bouncing off book-lined walls. My chest constricted. Years of invisible pain suddenly witnessed by a room full of strangers. The door flew open again. Eleanor appeared, her perfect appearance slightly disheveled, hair escaping its usual lacquered helmet, lipstick slightly smudged. "Robert," her voice carried without need of amplification. "What are you doing?" "The governor's wife just left our party." 18 people made excuses. "Are you satisfied now, Isabella?" The room temperature seemed to drop. I saw my mother through the eyes of a stranger, her dramatic entrance, her concern for appearances rather than connection. I eased the microphone from my father's hands. "This is my story to tell." Eleanor's face flushed. "Your story? What about our family's privacy? What about what you've done to us?" I opened my book to a page marked with a yellow sticky note. Finding my voice required no effort now. "My 16th birthday fell on a Tuesday," I read. My parents had flown to Hilton Head for their anniversary weekend. They were supposed to return Monday night. When they hadn't arrived by Tuesday morning, I made my own birthday cake, chocolate with vanilla frosting, and placed it in the refrigerator before school. I returned to an empty house. At midnight, I put a single candle in my slice and sang to myself. They came home Thursday, having extended their trip. They never mentioned the cake or my birthday. Eleanor's face drained of color. My father's shoulders slumped further. I closed the book. "I'm not reading tonight to punish you. This memoir exists because I finally realized my story matters, even when no one else thinks it does." Maya stood now, stepping forward to stand beside me. "If you want a relationship with me going forward," I continued, voice steady, "there are terms. No more speeches unless you acknowledge years of emotional neglect. No more combined celebrations that erase my birthday. No relationship without therapy and genuine change." Eleanor's perfect mask cracked for a moment. I glimpsed something raw beneath. Confusion, perhaps. Or the dawning horror of seeing yourself clearly for the first time. "This isn't how families behave," she whispered. "No," I agreed. "It isn't." My father set the small silver package on the podium. "Happy birthday, Isabella," he said quietly. The words hung in the air between us, a simple commonplace, revolutionary. The audience erupted in applause as my parents retreated down the aisle. Maya's arms circled my waist, strong and steady. "You did it, Mom," she whispered. The silver package remained unopened on the podium as I turned back to the audience. The pages of my speech fluttered under my fingertips, but I no longer needed them. "Thank you for coming to celebrate with me tonight," I said, my voice ringing clear. "Now, let me tell you about finding your voice when the world has taught you to be silent." A year later, sunlight dappled through the maple trees in my backyard, casting honey-colored patches across the white tablecloth. I adjusted a centerpiece of late summer hydrangeas, blue, not navy, and stepped back to admire the scene. My birthday table, set for 12. Mom, where do you want the champagne glasses? Maya balanced a tray of flutes that caught the afternoon light, sending prisms dancing across the lawn. By the punch bowl, my voice carried an unfamiliar confidence. A year's worth of speaking my truth had strengthened vocal cords once strained from swallowing words. Gatsby, impossibly ancient now, watched from his cushioned throne beneath the oak tree, his amber eyes tracking my movements with feline approval. Can you believe it's been a whole year? Maya set down the tray and stood beside me, her shoulder touching mine. At 22, she towered an inch above me, her posture straight where mine once curved to make myself smaller. I shook my head. Sometimes it feels like yesterday. Sometimes like another lifetime.
The doorbell chimed.
My writing group arrived first. Beatrice with her dog-eared copy of my memoir, Olivia with publishing updates tucked in her oversized purse, Thomas with his booming laugh. That Isabella's empty spaces. The birthday girl. Beatrice wrapped her arms around me. No speech required today. I laughed, the sound still surprising me with its freedom. Just cake and conversation. And this? Olivia handed me a small package. Inside, a first edition Austen with a note, to the woman who found her voice. The garden filled with chosen family. My neighbor Howard brought his famous potato salad. My college roommate, Judith, flew in from Arizona. 3 women from my workshop arrived together, each carrying a journal. My birthday tradition now, encouraging others to document their lives. The cake, a chocolate with buttercream roses, read, "Happy 47th birthday, Isabella." Written in perfect script. No gold-rimmed anniversary decoration in sight. My phone buzzed in my pocket. A text from Robert. "Happy birthday, Isabella. I hope your day is special." Another from Marcus and Lena. "Thinking of you today. The boys made you cards." Nothing from Eleanor. Nothing from Celeste. The absence stung less than I expected. A small package had arrived yesterday, postmarked from Raleigh. My mother's precise handwriting on the label. Inside, a birthday card. The first in decades. The message simple, "I see you now." I placed it on my mantle, neither enshrining nor discarding it. One step on a long road. Make a wish, Mom. Maya lit 47 candles, their flames steady in the still September air. I closed my eyes. What to wish for when you've already claimed what was stolen? The flames blurred through unexpected tears. Not sad ones, but the kind that come when something long broken begins to heal. To being seen, I whispered and blew. Around me, applause erupted. My gaze caught the reflection in the window glass, a woman holding a book in one hand, birthday candles in the other. Both the overlooked daughter and the woman who refused invisibility. For the first time in 47 years, I felt complete. Unclaimed no more.